Well, every pony, we made it. We so made it. We stuck it out and waited until the end of time. There was one point where I thought we would never get it due to the stupid, god-awful cancellation. But we got it at long last, finally. Our patience paid off, and it's finally here, albeit through an unofficial release. The last episode we'll ever see fully animated and detailed in the art style we all know and love. Special 2, also known as Rainbows, Rollercoasters, and Hoppalottas. It's finally here. Hello every pony, my name is Hawk Nightwing, the most unapologetic defender of G5 you'll ever meet, and I still can't believe it's finally here. I mean, my first video of 2025 is a review of this special, one that I hyped up months before in a speculation video, and one that I've been so excited to see. One that has achieved near mythical status in the fandom by this point. And well, now that it's here, it's time to fully soak in the last piece of fully animated media we'll ever get from G5 officially. One final send out to this beautiful art style in all its glory. Was Special 2 worth all that build up and wait? Let's find out. This is my review of TYT Season 2, Special 2, Rainbows, Rollercoasters, and Hoppalottas. This special basically has two different subplots that make up the story. The first is that mysterious rainbows start appearing around the board trot. A portal opens up during a roller coaster ride, which eventually leads Posy, Misty, and Zip to end up in a magical forest filled with exotic, strange types of bunnies called the Hoppalottas. The second, slightly smaller subplot is that Sunny's looking for our three ponies, so she goes to Laura for help. A mini confrontation happens, Sunny is kicked out of the cave, she and her friends open a portal to the Hoppalotta land, there's a bit of world building, and the two plots eventually come together at the end when the main six return our bunny friends home. After a big musical performance, the special ends with Laura beginning to discover the true magic behind the board trot. So, what do I think of this special now that it's finally here? Well, I am pleased to report that I had a good time watching it. I thought this special was really enjoyable, though not as good as I may have been hoping it would be. Let's get the critiques I have out of the way first. The first thing that immediately stuck out to me story-wise was the pacing. Unlike the Blocky Walkies, which only had one character-focused narrative to focus on, there are two plots here. The Hoppalottas are the A plot and the main draw of the special, whereas whatever the other main six are doing in the meantime is the B plot. And the screen time for them is a bit uneven. The special tries to divide the ponies up at first, so it can bring them all back together in the climax, and unfortunately, the way they get back together is very rushed. Sunny just goes to Laura for help after an earlier scene, and then Laura doesn't help, so the immediate solution when Sunny gets back is, oh, portal time, let's go find our friends. And it's like, you guys could have just done that the whole time, you know? I get we needed to give Laura more screen time and flesh out what's going on with her, which is something I did want for this special in my speculation video, but she's honestly so inconsequential to the story for most of it that the entities with the Nova Charm fragment still could have worked. Just cut her out of the opening where she mind controls Comet, and the middle confrontation, and you're basically good. She still could have shown up at the ending performance, and literally nothing would have changed. The only thing that the subplot really accomplishes is giving Sunny an active role in one of these episodes, which is a positive that I'll get to in a minute. I'm glad our main hero finally got to confront the main villain and all that, but still, the little meeting they had didn't really accomplish much except pad out the runtime. Sunny didn't even get through to Laura, whereas Zip of all ponies did. Also, there is like no lesson to be found in this special, which is disappointing. Whereas the Blocky Walkies was a beautiful character study for Izzy and had a point to its existence. They were setting up a meaningful lesson on finding creative inspiration from anywhere. This special doesn't. The Allura stuff is mainly padding out the runtime, and the only things of real value that come from it are the A-plot, which we'll get to, and the ending. In which case, boom, now we're talking. And that sucks, because the one thing the special's predecessor proved is that you can really use the extra runtime to tell a great story, centered around a specific thematic topic. I was so excited to see how Hoppalottas would follow in the Blocky Walkies' footsteps with that clever storytelling and narrative framing, and it just didn't. Oh well. Now, with all that being said, you might think I hate the special or something. But that's not entirely true. Despite the obvious flaws that it presents, here's why I believe the special is still good regardless. First of all, there's the stuff with Sunny's characterization. I know he's had a very small subplot that goes nowhere with a detriment to the story, but her characterization within it certainly isn't. Despite not really accomplishing much in the grand scheme of the narrative, Sunny really is portrayed well here. From that connection she made to Allura about being an outcast and her wanting to make our favorite snow leopard feel welcome to board trot, to her taking the initiative when it came to getting things done, I was really impressed with how well they did Sunny in this special. Whenever it comes to her taking an active role in the plot of an episode, I always appreciate it, because it's a reminder of who the true main character really is in this generation. It's not Misty, Zip, or even Pip. It's Sunny, and they really know how to do her justice. Her wanting to give Allura a second chance pays off that short tease we had in Icy Prince, and it shows how willing she is to empathize with the Snow Leopard when most won't, which is a smart callback to her own days as an outcast, where she had no one to take a chance on her until Izzy did. The non-confrontation itself may not have amounted to much ultimately, but from a character perspective, I actually think it's a good showcase of just how far Sunny's willing to go to try and get through to Allura, to prove that there's good in her. No Ponyos would have even thought to ask Allura of all creatures for help, but Sunny knows what it's like to not be understood, and she wants so desperately to connect with the Snow Leopard, to bond with her, and make her feel included. It's a good mini arc for her to have, and once again, shows her as a great role model for the target audience of NLP. Another reason why she is the absolute best protagonist to ever come out of this franchise. And let's not forget the most important part of all that stuck out to me more than anything else. The world building. And I'm not talking about just the quick jumping around places type of expansion that the Blocky Walkies incorporated. No, I'm talking about real, honestly Luna expanded universe type world building where we get to stay in one location and explore it. The Hoppalottas are a great and organic addition to this world. Not only are they actually a new unique species we haven't seen before in LP canon, but they're actually given a bit of lore to them as well, which I didn't expect. It takes them a while to start talking in fluent Ponish, but once they do, we are given a bit of insight on their history. Turns out, they're another species that had to flee Equestria during the infighting between the Pony tribes, and they hid themselves away for all these years. What is this? An actual G4 connection entire tale? I can't believe it! These bunnies may not be the most interesting new civilization ever created for G5, but at the same time, they serve their purpose very effectively. They serve as another bridge between past and present, and given a narrative weight to the fact that Zip, Misty, and Posey were sent to this mysterious forest to begin with. Even though there wasn't a main lesson attached to this special, there is a thematic purpose to the world building aspect of it. By framing this part of the story as, there was a reason why the portal opened, we were destined to do this. It allows it to serve the theme of healing the scars of the past, and making a new start towards the future. The Hoppalottas represent this theme and then some. They chose to trust the pony's friendship, and return home to a place they haven't been back to in hundreds of moons. It's that connection, that thematic weight, that makes this A-plot so special. Pun completely intended. And the decision to include a piece of the G4 backstory connection here gives these guys actual history in the universe, with only a few lines of exposition needing to be spoken. Not to mention, the special goes the extra mile with the Hoppalottas, by also tying them into Bridal's mythology through Izzy's dialogue. So not only are these magical bunnies a fresh addition to the world of Equestria, but they also feel like an organic addition at the same time, because we are also expanding the mythological history of an existing location, Bridalwood, by portraying the Hoppalottas as long-lost creatures of ancient folklore, now found in the present day. That's impressive. All that, and more, turns what would otherwise be a pointless filler plot into something that really speaks to the core themes of this generation, bridging the gap between two cultures, and coming together despite our differences. Also, Posey's VA was at her absolute best here, oh my goodness.
Can you open already? Please?
And so, at the end of the day, in spite of the problems I may have with it, I think Special 2, Rainbows, Rollercoasters, and Hoppalottas was worth all that weight. It may not surpass the Block Walkies by any means, and it's a reminder that Season 2 of Terra Tale, despite starting out literally perfect in its first 15 episodes, special included, kinda started to fall off a little in terms of consistent quality around the midway point. But despite that, come on, the things the special did right, like Sunny's characterization and legit fantastic world-building elements that tied into an overarching G5 theme, it really did right. I'm happy with it, and I can definitely see myself watching it again. But is it the surprise masterpiece I've been expecting for close to a year? No. But that's okay. For the last episode to officially be fully animated in this gorgeous art style, I think a magical adventure premise that's wacky and weird, plus takes full advantage of the visual creativity of the show, was the best way for it to go out. At least until we make a revival, but you know. I can rest easy knowing there's still more Animatex to release, while also enjoying this special for what it is. And that's kind of the best of both worlds here. But, what do you guys think of this episode? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. Until next time, this is Hawk Nightwing signing out. Hoof to heart.